All right, I'm going to do a quick video on customary measurement. The hardest thing they're going to be doing with this is converting between units, and so we spend a lot of time with that. One of the big things that we start with is when they're going from one type of unit to another. And by unit, I mean, what are you measuring in? Are you measuring in inches, feet, gallons? What are you measuring in? And so one trick that I teach them in class is if they start off with a small unit, like an inch. So if they go from an inch and they need to turn that into feet, I always tell them you're going to start off really, really small and you're going to something large. You're dividing, which kind of looks like a divide sign. And then if they are going to go from something like a foot and they want to turn that into inches, they're starting off with a larger unit because a foot is bigger than an inch. So they're starting with something large and they're going to something small, and I tell them they need to multiply. Okay, and the reason that'll help is when I go over a couple more examples in a minute. With length, the only things that they need to be responsible for is the inch, feet, and miles. And then with weight, the only thing that we do ounces, pounds, and tons. The capacity is the one that is the trickiest. We do something called G-Man. It's just a little picture reminder that they can draw on the side of their paper to help them remember. It starts off with a large gallon, and inside of the gallon there are let me erase that so we can see it a little better, 4 quarts. And inside of the 4 quarts there are 2 pints in every single one of them. And then inside of each pint, there are 2 cups. The only other additional thing that we do, we don't draw this on our picture because it would just be too tiny. We do fluid ounces, and we talk about how there are 8 ounces in a cup. And so that is something extra that they have to memorize. We will go over the different measurement tools. We have examples in class, but anything that you can show from your kitchens or out when y'all are shopping or something would be great for them to see how they would use these things in real life. Important vocabulary, customary, measurement, metric is what, another measurement we do after customary. What the word convert means. Line plots, we'll do some of that in class where they're plotting data they might be measuring. Area, perimeter, volume, length, capacity, weight, and then what the unit means. A unit is just what we're measuring in. Okay, so let me give a couple of examples so that you know just a little bit of how I would teach this in class. Let's say, for example, that I was converting, let's see here, 86 maybe inches, and I want that turned into feet. What they would have to do, they have to determine, is this a multiplication or a division problem? Well, we're going from inches, which are smaller, to feet, which is larger. So inches to feet, we're going to be dividing. Okay, so I always tell them, maybe on top of the equal sign, put your divide, and what are you dividing by? You have to know how many inches are in a foot. So 12. So you've got to do 86 divided by 12. And so they've got to understand some of their multiplication facts. They're welcome to use a multiplication chart if they don't know them that well. But they've got to determine how many times 12 goes into 86 to get their results. Okay? Well, I guess with this one, this one's a little odd. Let me go ahead and finish up the answer. This one, you're going to have leftover inches, so they're also going to need to know that information. This one is going to be 7, but that only gets me up to 84 inches, and so they have to make sure to put their leftover 2 inches also in their answer. Okay, another one, let me try maybe one that's the opposite, starting with a larger unit. Let's say that I had 4 gallons, and I want to determine, like, maybe I'm having a party and I have 4 gallons of punch, and I want to see how many cups of punch that would be for my guests, because we talk about as many situations as possible with these problems, and I want to turn that into cups. I'm starting with a much larger unit with gallons, and I'm going to cups. So a large unit to a small unit, I'm going to multiply, and then here's a tricky thing. You have to know how many cups are in a gallon. Well, inside of our G-Man, you can actually count, if you don't already have it memorized, you can count how many cups are inside of 1 gallon. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. They're going to multiply by 16. So 4 times 16 would be 64. And that's how they would get their answer. We're going to do different problems with liquid, capacity, length, and weight, doing this exact same thing. If you need more examples or more practice problems or more information, just contact me and I'll get what you need to help work out any problems you have with your child. Thank you.